Hi, everybody. I'm Sharon,
And I'm Desiree.
and this is The Other What. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Other What. I hope you guys all enjoyed the one prior to this. We were so excited. Again, thank you to Aaron for coming on and
Yes, thank you.
hanging out with us for so long and talking about some really hard stuff. It was probably one of our favorite episodes.
Absolutely,
to do. So,
yeah.
we really hope you guys did. And in that spirit of talking about dating and coming out later in life, Desiree and I wanted to do an episode about dating women with kids who may have just come out later in life or
Yeah.
are leaving heterosexual relationships.
They're out there.
Because here's the big spoiler, guys. Wait, we need like the dramatic music. Desiree and I are now taken. We are not single
we have
anymore.
girlfriends.
We have girlfriends.
We have
Okay,
girlfriends.
please don't unfollow us. You gotta take a bow, Desiree. You gotta take a bow. Take a bow. Anyways, please don't unfollow us.
Oh
We're
my
still really
gosh.
cool, even though we've got girlfriends, and our girlfriends are super cool too.
Yeah.
So, but
God.
yeah, I think that's kind of like the big thing, the big reveal. We were like, oh
Yeah.
God. And yes, as our executive producer would like to say, of course, I am dating a white woman. Duh, people.
Well, mine's
duh,
half white.
duh. Yes.
Yeah, that's
my
a big
God,
step for me.
Desiree. That's a big step for
I
you.
know,
It's
yeah.
not a big deal.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
Yes.
No, not that there's anything wrong with that. We love our uncooked meat, even if it's partially uncooked meat. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh God.
But yes. So I think what we want to do in this first, like to intro this is like, you guys have been with us through the last like year, and we have done a lot of stuff. Like, the whole finally getting divorced, which to give everybody the update, I'm finally done with the ex. Like, it took a year and a half, but I'm done. I don't have to deal with it anymore, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to have another episode about that, Desiree. That'll be the next one, maybe we do. But yeah, just a lot of really good things have closed, and Desiree is going to tell her. I want to hear her story first, but like then we all this stuff started happening. We met these women completely unexpectedly. Like we were we had no intentions. This was not like we were intending to go out and find girlfriends.
Nope. I was happy doing, as one of my friends would say, being for the streets. I was happy being out. being outside.
For the streets. That sounds like you were like selling your body out on Krog Streets, what you were doing, Desiree.
No, I'm retired from that.
Wait, that is another episode
Right.
that we're gonna have to talk about.
I'm retired.
You were happy. You were just doing your thing, and then what happened? Tell us a story.
Oh my gosh. It's somebody I've known, kind of knew, like years ago, like 2012, met because they were friends with somebody that I dated for like 3 months, and had not talked to them since 2012, and just happened to get a hello. Is this Desiree? Is this your number?
Whoa.
And I was like, yes. Who is this? And then like she said her name, and I was like, that sounds familiar, but I wasn't sure. So I was like, send me a picture. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember. Like, how are you? And so we're just kind of like catching up, and I honestly don't even know how we're transitioned to us just like catching up on life. And this is where we are to, maybe I kind of like you a bit. We're talking all the time. We are, having very like, not sexual conversations, but just intimate things you ask people, and it it really surprised me. It really
Wow.
surprised me. I
And by the
just
way, everybody, not a
yeah.
lot surprises
No,
Desiree.
no.
So this is a big deal
Yes.
if
Yeah.
Desiree got
Yeah.
surprised by this.
I did, and I did. And, it's just been really an interesting year, I'll just say that. It's been an interesting year and dating somebody who has kids also. Um, because as everybody knows, Desiree has no kids. Desiree has n not wanted children. Not that I don't like kids, and I have dated other women and guys with children. I always end up liking their kids more than I like them. So we'll see how that goes. But it's different now being older, right?
Mhm.
I'm at, my mid 40s now, a bit more settled in myself and my career. And like there's just all these decisions that you have to make and things you have to do now and compromises that you have to make that I would have never made in my 20s, probably not even in my
Mm.
30s. Um, and it's just been
Ooh.
really interesting. So, yeah.
Wow.
How about
Yeah.
you?
So so this is why we're doing this episode, guys, because guess what? Desiree and I, for some reason, are like we're dating parallel girlfriends in a way.
Yeah.
So the woman I'm dating also has kids. She is as Aaron termed in the last episode, a lily, coming out late in life.
Mhm.
And I met her. I just okay. So I got. We're not dating the same woman, Andrew. Oh my God, no. Remember, my girl's white.
Yeah.
Desiree's is half
Half white,
white. Half white. Definitely the different,
half white.
different ladies. But good question.
Yeah.
Good question. Um, no, but so for me, like, I adopted Elvis, my terrier mutt, like 3 months after I filed for divorce. And I kind of call him my rebound relationship because
Yeah.
he kind of was, right?
Mhm.
And I was having a really tough time with him. He's a rescue dog, trauma dog, really, because he came from trauma himself. And um, this woman that lived around the corner from my god kids, like, was like, "Hey, I have a rescue dog. Why don't we just do some doggy play dates together?" I started becoming friends with her, and she's like, "I need you. I really want you to meet my friend." And I was like, "Okay, sure,
Mhm.
that's cool." She does triathlon. She's really active and stuff. And I was like, "Sure, whatever." Literally the first time that we met, she was more nervous than I was, and I was just like, "Oh, I have a new friend." And Desiree, you
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
this
I was
because
there.
because like we all met, and and
Yeah.
and I told Desiree, I was like, "I'm not dating her.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it." And I literally think that, like, I said that to myself for like 5 months, and all we did was go on friend dates, and we'd
Right.
have dinners, and everybody knew that we were quote unquote like dating except for me.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knew.
Yes. Yeah.
Even she did.
Yeah.
That's right. And I was like, "No, no, no,
Uh,
we're not dating." And I would literally we would go to the bar that's down the street where Desiree and I are
yeah.
gonna get a beer later.
Yes.
And like I'd be like, "Hey, look at all these ladies. Aren't you interested in any of these
Right.
ladies?" Like, trying to get her to date other ladies,
Yeah.
not me. And then finally, I was like, in October, just like you, it was like one of those things where it's like, what just happened? Like,
Mhm.
well, duh. You like her.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been like friend dating, and then that's kind of what happened. And yeah, we've been dating ever since. And it's been interesting. I think one of the things like we want to kind of dive into this episode is what it's like for us
Mhm.
as like women without kids,
Yep.
right? Who have been out for a very long time,
Mhm.
now dating women with kids who just came out of the closet or are in like were in other relationships. And because I feel like there is a lot of great resources that like Aaron, gave us in the last episode
Mhm.
about their side of the story. But I feel like there's not a lot about our side of
Yes.
like dealing with that, right? And like,
Yeah.
not that it's bad or hard. Like, there's just things that you have to learn about yourself and about their relationship with their exes and their
Mhm.
kids that you just have to be prepared for if you
Yeah.
want to date a woman with kids. And I think it's something good that we need to talk about more.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think it's
if
talked
you're
about
like me and you're a person where quality time and, having time with your partner is important. Um, it's still going to be important to you, but you're in the beginning, you're not going to get a lot of it because, you know, they have responsibilities that you don't have. And you have to just like Aaron said, just be patient. You have to
Yeah.
be patient.
I think about her advice all the time, by the way. So thank you,
Mm,
Erin. The patience and the feedback,
yeah.
especially if the person that you're dating is open to the feedback. They don't know how to operate
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship like what we're giving them because they've never been in it before.
Yeah.
So they don't even know what so they're like going to default settings and not thinking that there's like another way to do this because
Mm-hmm.
now they're with somebody like me or you.
Right.
And I think that that's also I think about that all the time, and I really appreciate that. So one funny story I want to tell before we go into this like really cool website that Desiree found for us to go through on the bullet points, um, is that Desiree, I invited Desiree to a soccer game with my two godsons. I was babysitting, not babysitting. I sat for them for 3 days straight. Their parents went to Vegas to go see a show at the Sphere, and I was like, sure, I can take two kids under the age of 9 and
Yeah.
hang out with them for 3 days.
Very
And
cute,
very cute, cute
kids.
kids,
The
adorable
cute
kids.
helps.
The cute definitely
Cute
helps. They're
helps.
very, very cute kids. And my godsons love me, but they also know that I am the fun aunt.
Mm-hmm.
And then they met Desiree. We all went out for pizza and they wanted to show off for Desiree. And so they got crazy. Like
Yeah.
I felt like they were like wind up toys. And
Yeah.
I was like, they're not like this usually. I don't know what happened. They just like, and they were all over the place. But guys, I wish I had a camera, which I did take pictures, but Desiree was smiling and being cute the whole time.
Yes.
But you should have seen her face.
It's
When
like,
she was
what
like,
the fuck is going on?
"Oh,
Like,
Sharon,
guys,
she goes, are you gonna survive?"
yeah.
This
Y'all are at a 10. I need you at least at a 4. Come to a 4 for me, even a
Yeah.
5.
But they just
They're
were not. They were just like they were so excited to just like I don't even know, eat pizza. I don't know. Who knows what happened?
Yeah.
But I thought it was just so funny to see the two of us. We don't have kids. Here we are, like trying to be the fun. We were the fun aunts,
Yeah.
and then this could be something that we do on a more regular basis
Yeah, I
with our
told my girlfriend
girlfriends.
about it and she's like, "Well, that's what's it's going to be like with my kids." And I was like, "Okay."
Well, at least you
Oh,
kind of know
I'm
what's
prepared. I mean,
gonna.
I've got
Yeah.
nieces and nephews that are young. I got a niece that how old is she now? 9, and then her brother's 7, and then I have a nephew that's 13. So I'm used to being around kids and little kids. Um, it's just been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been a minute.
So one of the things that I've talked about with my girlfriend is because and I think I don't know if this is how it is for you, but we're used to being by ourselves
Yes. Yeah.
and having alone time and literally just sitting there for 15 minutes and
Quiet time. Yeah.
scrolling Instagram for 15 minutes and Desiree sends me funny reels all the time. And
Yes.
I think that that's like our quiet time is to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told her, I was like, look, like, I'm going to tell you when I need some time. I'll be like,
Yeah.
I need a timeout. Like, just like the kids, right? When they need a timeout,
Please put me in timeout.
Sharon needs a timeout. She's going to go into the room over there, close the door, and she will be on her phone for whatever, 10 minutes. And then she'll
Yeah.
come out and then she'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I think that like really working on ourselves the last year, at least for me, I know when I need it now,
Yeah.
which I think is really important. And like constantly asking your partner, do you need alone time? Do you need so that you're never like gonna like blow your top, right?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of like bring it down a little bit before you get to that, the overload point.
Yeah.
So that's something that look, I haven't tried it out yet. It's a very good intention in my brain. So I hope I can actually execute on it. That's
Wait,
really what I'm
I
saying.
thought you were telling this story as something you've done already.
No. We are already preparing for this because I know that I'm
Yeah.
going to like my social meter. I mean, even around my god kids, I
Mm-hmm.
need a break sometimes. In those 3 days, I literally put them in front of the TV and I literally scrolled Instagram for like
Yeah.
30
You
minutes.
need
And
a
I needed
break.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fine. And I mean, kudos to all the single moms out there
Yes.
because they have to be on all the
All the
time and they don't
time.
get a break. And at least now with our girlfriends, like we can be their support system
Yeah.
and give them a break if
Yeah.
they need to, right?
Yeah.
As well as they give us a break. But um anyways,
Uh,
those are just kind of this like it's been a very like you said, it's been an interesting ride.
Yeah,
So
and I guess I also just never didn't think I have to stop saying never because I'm probably at some point have had these thoughts and just forgot about it, but just didn't think at this stage that I would meet somebody, fall in love and they have kids and now I'm trying to figure out how to adjust to that. So cuz
I love that you're in love.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's so
Aw.
sweet.
Delete that part. Delete
I'm
that part,
so
Andrew.
uncomfortable. I love how uncomfortable you are with that. It's so cute. It makes me so
Delete that part. No, I'm just kidding.
excited.
No, I am. It's a great thing. I love the feeling. It feels really good. It's an adjustment though. It's an adjustment.
Mm,
Because there's going to be a point where, hopefully as the relationship progress, there's the meeting the ex, which I think is responsible. Because if I was the other parent, I'd want to know who you're bringing around my kids.
right.
Meeting the kids. Is there going to be a time where maybe this moves even more forward and then we start living together? That's a huge difference for me because Desiree is used to just taking care of Desiree. I am used to moving around whenever the wind blows, and we get into, I don't want to say arguments, but strong conversations about Desiree. You shouldn't be gone for this long all the time. I'm like going on vacation for like 2 weeks. I'm like, and then sometimes I'll forget to mention it. Like, oh wait, I have a trip like in next week and I'll be gone for 2 weeks. So in my head, I'm thinking, well, we don't live together. It shouldn't really matter what I'm doing now. But then I have to step back and think, okay, if I'm gone for 2 weeks, I could be gone somewhere where maybe I don't have cell signal. And if I'm the person that, my partner's depending on for just that daily confirmation of like, you're doing a good job, or let me tell you about this crazy day I had, or you just need to talk to them, I'm not providing that space. So I've had to really think about how to handle this in the most mature way possible.
Oh, that's big. That's big though. That's a big
Yeah.
growth like place for you that you never
Yeah.
thought like you said, you never thought that
No.
this would be where you would be. Which
Mm-mm.
again, me and Desiree are complete opposites
Yeah.
as usual. I was staying at my godkid's house when I first got to Atlanta. And I remember when I first met this friend, the doggy playdate friend.
Yeah.
And I remember telling, I was like, there's this whole world of late in life lesbians that live in like Decatur and Candler Park.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so gonna end up with one of these ladies. like they all have kids, they're all late in life, they left their husbands. I knew I had this feeling, and I told my godson's mom. She kind of snickered at me, and
Oh
then
my gosh.
see where we are right
You're
now. See
nailing
what
it.
happens. I
You're
nailed it.
nailing it.
I nailed it.
Oh
Nailed
my
it.
gosh.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a little break. And then we're going to come back and we've got this awesome website that's in the show notes. So follow along with us.
Yes.
We're going to go through some of these bullet points and we hope it's going to be helpful for you guys.
Be back soon. All right, welcome back to the Other Web podcast. This next segment, we are going to talk about this list that I found at a website called butchwonders.com. Look in the show notes for it. And it's a list that is basically like, here are a few things to keep in mind when you are starting to date women who have children. And this is coming from like a woman's perspective, like lesbians. So there's like 8 bullet points, and we're just going to, Sharon, if you don't mind, let's go through the bullet points and add our little 2 cents.
Yeah, I
All
love
right.
it. I
So
love
the
it.
first one is the kid is number one.
This is
Yeah.
why this is the first bullet
Yeah.
point.
Yes.
1000%.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And in our case,
Kids.
the kids
Yes.
are number one.
Yeah.
What Here's what I've learned though, Desiree. Let me just give you a little nugget of something that they are number one if you want to stack rank it.
Mm-hmm.
Stack ranking it isn't fair.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a fair thing to stack rank. And I really dealt with this pretty hard over the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think though what it is that like you can have they're number one, but you can also be just as special
Mm-hmm.
and just as much of a priority. You can you can hold space. Your partner can hold space for both, right?
Yeah.
Your girlfriend can hold space
Yeah.
for both, so that you never feel like you're the second class citizen. Yes, they will. Like if there was ever a decision, they would choose you have to work around the kids' schedule,
Mm-hmm.
not yours. I
Yep.
get that, but
Yeah.
you're just as special to your girlfriend as the kids are. Like they love you just as much. And I
Yeah.
think that's something that I really struggled with at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the relationship.
Yeah. I think for this one, I struggle with it in terms of the quality time. And like even something which to me seems small, but it's a huge thing when you have kids that are very schedule oriented and like certain regimens. Like I might be like, hey, why don't you spend the night with me, on a random Tuesday night, go to work from here. And she's like, I have to be home for the kids. And I'm like, oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I'm like you too. Like
Yeah.
time is our love language.
Mm-hmm.
So her kids are very sports oriented,
Yeah.
and she's just always at sports games, and I wasn't that's not I don't the word allow isn't right. It wasn't the right time for me to be at the sports games because we hadn't done the
Right.
introductions with the kids. We hadn't met the ex. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But like so it kind of sucked. Like, she's just kind of hanging out at a sports game. I wasn't even allowed to like sit next to her.
Right.
Ugh, that hurts so hard.
Yeah.
And like I think that's where I think Erin was telling us a story about a woman she was dating who was like, I want to go to your kid's softball
Yeah.
game. And Erin took offense to that. I think if you look at their side of things, they're coming from our view of like,
Mm-hmm.
we just want to spend time with
Just,
you.
yeah. Yeah.
And I know that the kids, they don't know us or whatever, but that is literally what we want. We just want to spend time with
Right.
you. And I think
Right.
it's knowing both sides of it, and that maybe some women are more pushy than others,
Mm-hmm.
but that's where that patience comes into play. Yeah, you're not going to spend a lot of time with them at the beginning, like you
Right.
said,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
It
you
is
know?
okay. I do want to point out that you saying sports games is really making me laugh in my head because I don't think I've
Why?
ever heard anybody say sports games.
Why is that
Sporting
like not
events.
oh, did I do it wrong?
Sports
Okay.
games.
I don't know the sports world.
Oh my God.
I'm barely doing
So
I have no idea.
my girlfriend is not a sports person. Also, I got her a t-shirt that says, yay sports, win the points, make the baskets, score the goals.
Yeah, I can't wait to hang out with her. We're gonna have so
Oh
much
my
fun.
God.
I'll be
Yeah.
like, what's happening? Where
Right.
did that go? Who's gonna win the
Right.
game? I
Oh.
don't know. Yes.
Oh my God.
So it's really fun. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you said something else though that triggered me to something, but now I can't remember what it is. It'll come back to me later. Okay. So
All right.
so kid is number one. Don't forget that, but you are special as well.
You are special as well. Yeah.
Okay. The next one on the list is she is likely shopping for a co-parent, not just a partner.
This is a big one.
Yeah.
Does this scare you, Desiree, a little bit?
I think at first it did because free bird here. Like what? A co-parent, or a term that I've heard from her is a bonus parent. Like a bonus mom.
Yes.
And I was like, I appreciate that, but I kind of maybe just want to be the fun friend of your mom.
You want to be the fun aunt.
Yeah. I don't want to discipline. You've got a partner that's well capable of that. The two of you can work that out. I don't think I want to be one that has to like discipline. I just want to be maybe the person there when they're tired of their parents. They're like, oh, Desiree, talk to my mom or talk to my dad about this. And like, I don't know. I just kind of want to be the friend, but
Mm.
I don't know how that, if that's going to be realistic or if I am going to be more like bonus parent. Like, am I going to be disciplining kids and helping with homework? I'm not good at math, but I'll get you a tutor. Uh,
I love that. That's so
I'm-
cute. I love that. I I hear you. I think it's a really hard question, and we had talked about this, and I actually said, "Oh, I'm just gonna be the fun aunt,"
yeah.
and she looked straight into my eyes. She goes, "I do not want you to be the fun aunt." Like I was like, "What?" Like
Yeah.
it's literally this like bullet point. But for me, it's the only role I've ever had. It's the
Yeah.
only role you've ever had. It's what we're
Right.
comfortable with. We're
Right.
comfortable being the fun aunts. And so, yeah, like I think being a co-parent, we're gonna have to learn what a co-parent means. Like we don't know what that is,
Are there
right?
classes for us that we can take?
Totally, totally. Yeah. Desiree wanted me to mention that, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like there, like when you get divorced in DeKalb County, you have to take a 4-hour co-parenting class. And I was like, why don't parents just take a 4-hour class just to have kids? That would be
Yeah.
amazing, right? But anyways, but yeah, we need a class as co-parents, don't we?
Yes. Yeah.
There's actually this really cool book. I'll put it in the show notes too that I picked up for my girlfriend when we were in New Orleans. And it's written by so Alicia Keys is married to, oh, I can't remember his
Swiss
name.
Beats.
Yeah,
I don't
Swiss
know
Beats.
his real name. Yeah.
Yeah, so Swiss Beats's ex-wife wrote
Mm-hmm.
this book and
Mashan.
talks about the blended family they have with
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Keys and how they blended the families. It's called Blended, and she got a lot out of it, right?
Oh
As
wow.
far as like talking about how to blend a family together. That's a divorced family. Now, it's not
Mm-hmm.
from a queer standpoint, but it doesn't matter. I think that it goes to a lot of things. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of really good things in there that my girlfriend has actually started trying to like do with her kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was like really cool. But yes, the co-parent thing is something that I don't know how to do, but I'm willing to try. And I've
Right.
told her like I'm gonna mess up. I might not do things right. And you're
Yeah.
gonna have to tell me and give me feedback. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think this
So
this next bullet really plays into how we feel. And it says,
mm,
if you are not ready to be a parent now, it's probably okay. Because you've got to
yes.
get used to the kids have to get used to you. It's a new way of life that we have stepped into, but we weren't expecting. It's different. I think when you make the baby with somebody, then hey, this is the role I'm taking. But now we're stepping into a family that's created something, and now they've broken up and we're coming in, and it's like, oh shit, I have to take care of these little people. And what am I doing this right? Like, I had a dream the other day where a friend of mine was a surrogate for me, had this baby, and is like, here, Desiree, this is your baby now. And I was like, what? And then like I had a fear come over me that I've never experienced, because I was like, I'm not ready. Like, I don't have any diapers. I can't breastfeed, so I need to get food, and I don't have a bassinet. Which is very specific. A bassinet. I could just said a fucking crib, but I was like, I don't have a bassinet. This child is gonna be ruined.
Oh my God, Desiree, you had an anxiety dream. That's
I
an anxiety
did.
dream.
I've
It's an
never had that. I was like, oh
wow.
my gosh. I guess
Wow.
yeah,
It's
that
because
was
it's becoming
crazy.
real. It's because it's yeah. Reality is kind of like, oh God, I'm gonna be a parent.
Right,
Am I ready? I need a
right,
parenting class. What the hell? Oh
right.
my God.
And
Totally.
then
My
like
biggest
parenting styles are different. I mean,
yes.
even though I don't have any kids, I have an idea of how I would have done things. And it could be totally different than how she is doing things and how
Mm-hmm.
her ex-husband is doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And that falls into something later along in this list. But
I'll
go ahead, Sharon. I'm
I'll
sorry.
tell you my yeah, and we go to the next bullet point. One of
Yeah.
my biggest fears is that the kids hate me.
Mhm.
Biggest anxiety is that they hate me.
Yeah.
One, they hate me because, like you were saying, you're the this person coming into this
Yeah.
relationship with their mom that then you're not the dad, right?
Mhm.
You're just a stranger that they've never even met,
Yeah.
possibly. Or they're just like, you kind of suck. Like, because we've always been the fun aunts, and our kids
Yeah.
are all our nephews and not that I have those, but like you have
My
nephews and
nephews and
nieces.
nieces love me,
They
yeah.
love you. Yeah. My
When I
godsons
hang out with them,
love
they're like,
me.
"Best day ever."
Yes, mine too. My godsons are like, they're like they're fighting over me.
Yeah.
Like, right? And so I'm like, oh my God, are they not gonna like me? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I have a feeling I'm gonna probably overcompensate.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen. And like we just have to know that and talk about it and then like figure out how to regulate that and find that balance. But
Mhm.
it's a journey. This is not
Mhm.
gonna be overnight, that is for sure.
No, it's gonna take us a long time. All right,
Woo, okay. What's
the
the next
next
one?
one. If you know that you never want to be a parent, be honest. Be honest.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I bet there are some people who go into these relationships and then they get so far and they're like, peace out. I've actually
Yeah.
heard of that happen before, and then the kids are devastated.
Yeah. We've had conversations about that because I'm probably very close to never wanted to be a parent person. Um, but I tried not to say never as much as possible because you just don't know what's going to
Don't
happen.
know. Yeah.
For me, it is that fear also of, are the kids going to like me? Are we going to get along? Is there going to be issues with me and the ex? Like, I just want some harmoniousness
Mm-hmm.
going on because in the
Mm-hmm.
long run, now a part of my job is to just make sure that these kids are healthy, happy, and functioning adults
Mm-hmm.
once they're growing up. And so if that takes 3 parents, if that takes 4 parents, like we should all really be working together, put our egos aside and work together to be able to raise these kids as best as we can so that they have great experiences.
Desiree, that's why you're going to be a good mom,
Oh,
co-parent. That's
thank
why
you.
what you just said is exactly why you're going to be a good co-parent.
Oh.
Because there's a lot, like I've heard horror stories from other like, couples and stuff of like their exes and the narcissistic exes that like they're just about themselves and they're not thinking about the kids and they're doing
Mhm.
stupid things. And I just I have a lot of confidence in in our core, me and you, and
Mhm.
our foundations as people that we
Mhm.
would, we go back to bullet point number 1. The kids will be first. They'll
Yeah.
be first in our minds too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
Because that's just who we are. So, yeah, it's freaking scary. But
It
yes,
is.
people, if you don't want kids, please be honest with the woman that you're dating. That
Mhm.
just sucks to string them
Mhm.
along. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
that's devastating. And then it's devastating for the kids if they've met you
Yeah.
and then you leave. Come on. Like, so we've intentionally not introduced me to the kids as a girlfriend for a very long time because we just wanted to make sure that this was really something that we both wanted.
Yes.
And this whole like I've heard of people introducing their kids to their new girlfriends within a month. I think that's a little bit too fast. Not a little
Mhm.
bit. I think that's a lot. I'll be judgy. I think that's a lot too fast.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a big decision.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like people don't put a lot into that.
I'm of the mindset of we should like be in a solid relationship for like a year or two, honestly, before I'm meeting the kids because we need to make sure we are set. You
Hmm.
know, or we even have a game plan on what this is going to look like and what my role would be and, I guess best case, worst case scenario, pros, cons list, like all this stuff that probably is not necessary, but to me it is because it helps me process, how to be the best person I can be for this in this situation. Um, but it's hard. And like to a point that you said earlier of just like going to games and wanting to just be there because you just want to have time and spend with that person. My girlfriend and I, we've thought about just like organic scenarios where she could be out with the kids and maybe I just kind of bump into them. And I was like, yeah, we could do that, but I don't know if I want that to be their first memory of me
Yeah.
because I feel like if I was a kid, I'd be like, okay, wait a minute, didn't we meet this lady like 6 months ago at a park? Like, what's really going on? And maybe, I mean, they're 8 and 7 or 9 and 6 in that group of age. Um, I feel like you're old enough to maybe probably remember something like that.
Oh, yes. Oh,
So,
they
yeah,
totally remember. And we've done the organic thing.
yes,
And I've told you this before. Like I felt I felt like I couldn't be myself
right.
because I wanted to hold her hand. I wanted like, and you just have to like, it's so much. It takes so much energy.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited to do it. I thought it was the right thing, but like looking back on it, I'm wondering if like maybe like it was fine that we did it. I kind of wish that we had done
Yeah,
it in a different way,
yeah.
right?
But there were
But
so
I didn't
many
know.
of us
I did.
there too that for that.
There were,
Yeah.
and I know her oldest knows who I.
Mm-hmm.
So like when like we're both kind of like yeah, she hasn't told the kids yet. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost thinking that the oldest is gonna be like, duh, mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're so smart. They remember
Mm-hmm.
everything. Everything. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Next on the list. These last three bullets really kind of run into each other, but we'll still take them as separate ones. The next one is let her call the
Oh
shots.
wait, do you want to talk about the ex? The accept the relationship with the ex?
Oh,
Do you want
yeah.
to talk about that
Go.
one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't yeah. We don't have to dwell on this one. I like
Yeah.
the last three as well, but like meeting the ex I think is a big deal. And I just actually met the ex
Mm.
and it was not as traumatic as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was really scared, especially for our listeners that listen to the white privilege episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so funny story. I told him about our podcast. And of course, my girlfriend's like, because he's like, oh, what kind of things do you guys talk about? She goes, oh, white privilege. And I was like, don't talk about white privilege to a white man. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not doing this right now. And I completely changed the subject. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? No, we're not doing this right now. We're not doing this. It
Of
was
all
really
the
kind of hilarious.
episodes.
Of all the episodes she could think of, she thought about white privilege, obviously, because literally
Yeah.
the dude is. So it
Oh,
was just
man.
funny, like, and I've been talking to Desiree about this for like months because like I was so nervous about
Yeah.
it, had a lot of anxiety. I mean, think about it, like this dude is like 6'5", big white dude,
Mm-hmm.
bro, like frat boy, like he is complete opposite of the little Chinese masked lesbian that is now sleeping with his ex-wife. Like I am so opposite. How is this gonna work, right? And it just like I think that in my brain, like I just was like, oh my god, we're so different.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what could happen? But it was actually it was just like people like meeting for the first time getting a beer. That's really
Yeah.
what it was. And it was easy and there wasn't a lot of drama. And now he knows who I am and
Mm-hmm.
which is great. So when the kids talk about me with him, he's not surprised by it.
Right.
And
Right.
it was totally okay. And I will say he's very supportive
Oh, that's good.
of my girlfriend and her making the decisions that she did for herself. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a really good co-parenting relationship they have. So
That's
I'm
great.
very lucky to have that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
I
good.
have not met my girlfriend's ex yet. We are slowly working to that, which I'm really okay with. But she did have a dream the other night that they drove to a bar to meet me and that he and I hit it off. But she said, but the car ride home, she's like, I was just quiet the whole way. This is in her dream.
Oh, like quiet, like you were like fuming quiet or
No,
just like
she was just like, I guess, nervous, the anxiety of me and her ex meeting. It was so funny. She's like, you all were fine though.
yeah, I kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, you've always been really confident about that, Desiree. I don't think that you don't have the same anxieties that I do around
No.
meeting this guy. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of
Well,
stuff.
he's a little bit closer in height to me too.
Oh
So
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a lot easier. The skin color might be a little similar,
I think he's a pinch darker than me. Yeah.
pinch darker. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. For me, I think it goes back to being the other again
Yeah.
and just being so other and just like that stark difference. But I really just have to like suck it up and just like this is the fucking world. Like
Mm-hmm.
I date white women. Duh, they're gonna
That's
have
all
white
right.
husbands
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happens. Okay.
All
Anyways,
right.
let's get the next bullet points.
Next bullet point is, did I already say it? Let her call the shots.
I think you did, but you said
Okay.
the next three kind
Yeah,
of
let
like
her
go
call the
together.
shots. Provide support, not advice.
That's
And I love that one
mm-hmm.
because I am a problem solver and I will provide lots of advice, unsolicited advice to her
It's good you
when
know this about yourself.
oh yeah, I've realized it when she'll ask. I can't even think of like an example now of oh maybe oh every time she goes out, or not every time she goes out, she goes to the store, she might like bring the kids something back. And I was like, why do you do that? And she's like, because I want to get them something. And then I think, well, when I was a kid, my parents didn't do this. And she's like, yeah, okay, well, when I was a kid, mine didn't do that either, but that's what I want to do now. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, that's fair. That's
Hey,
fair.
Desiree, you're letting her call the shots. I'm really
Yeah.
proud of you. I'm proud of
Thank
you.
you.
I'm
Thank
proud of
you.
you.
You know, because then I start like I had this conversation with a cousin of mine, his wife and I were just talking about like the differences in growing up and the families you come from and how you really think that the way that you grew up is the right way most of the time of how you're supposed to grow up and what family may look like and how you operate in that. And then somebody else comes from a totally different standpoint from maybe a family who thinks that this is not the way you want to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to switch, right? Like not have pass on the same traumas that they got from their family. So who am I to be like, don't get this kid a small little toy from Five Below because you want to do something nice for your kid? Like, it's okay. Like,
It's
it is
okay.
okay.
It is
And
totally
I'm
yeah.
probably going to be doing that too.
You're gonna like be like hold your tongue, and then
Yeah.
you start being like, oh, I'm gonna buy them a toy.
Right. I'll see someone go,
I
oh,
agree.
they would like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my
totally,
gosh.
totally. I have a feeling we're gonna have like more parallel stories than we think.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
what's the last
The
one?
last one is she doesn't expect you to be an expert, but she does expect you to try to learn.
I love that.
Me too.
These are really good bullet points.
Yes. Butch
'Cause-
Wonders did a great job on this
oh my
list.
god, the learning because like we said at the beginning, like we're not gonna be perfect. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to do this.
Nope.
We're gonna need somebody to tell us, yeah, kind of fucked up. That's probably not the right thing to do. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Put that into the toolbox of things that we learned, right? Like, yeah, I kind of feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like this is we're on this new journey and we're in love with women that have kids and
Yeah.
this is the new life that we've decided to go with. Um in the last couple minutes, I do want to tell you a funny story about my parents
I would
because
love to hear it.
my old Asian parents. I
Yeah.
told them that I was dating. I started dating when my mom's head blew open. She was like, "You're dating? Rah. You just got divorced!" Like she was like so in her mind, it was like it was very much like on top of each other.
Right.
But then I told them the story that she's a late in life lesbian and like she left her husband and she's got two kids. And my mom's like, why did she get divorced? Why did she leave her husband? I was like, Mom, because she's gay.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, but why did she leave? Why? Why? Like, just does not understand it.
Does
And
not
so
compute.
it does not compute. Like, again, my mom's brain is like, but why would you do that? That
Yeah.
doesn't make anyways. So my mom like it's been about 6 weeks since I told them, 7
Mm-hmm.
maybe 8 weeks since I told them that about my girlfriend. And
Mm-hmm.
my mom, every single time she calls me now, does your girlfriend want to come to dim sum with us? Does she want to come to
Aww.
lunch with us? She wants to meet her so bad. It
Yeah.
is adorable. But I will tell you this, I have seeded it very well because these are
Mm-hmm.
Asian parents and
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows
Mm-hmm.
they value certain things differently than other parents do. So it's all about the free skincare things, Desiree.
Hey, love it. Love it.
It's all about that she has a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like right? Like it's a good job. It's a steady job. Literally
Yeah.
the first question my mom asked me, does she have a job?
Right.
Right. So anyways, I've really like, oh, she's got a graduate degree?
Yeah.
Whoa,
I know that's my
big
family's things.
deal.
What's her educational background?
Yes, yes, totally. So that like it's like already hyped it up and because like yeah, we talked about like the kids thing with their side,
Yeah.
but then there's our parents and my
Mhm.
my parents and my unique situation with my parents and they're this will be interesting and I'm excited about having like getting them like introducing them. It'll
Mhm.
not be as traumatic as I think with the kids, but it'll be interesting to see what
I
happens.
love that you brought this up, because I asked my mom, like, "How do you feel about me dating somebody with kids?" And she's like, "Well, Desiree, you're 45. It's not like you're in your early 20s. Like you're a real adult now." I'm like, "Oh, okay. All right."
I
And that
love
was kind of
Sharon.
I
I
know.
love Sharon.
She's fun.
That's a great answer. I
She's
trust.
fun.
She's like
Yeah.
Desiree. I trust you.
Yeah.
You're an adult. That's such a nice thing to hear from a parent.
It
To
is.
be
You know what
honest.
that also makes me think of? Because we are dating women who have gone through or are going through a divorce and have kids, we have really had to slow it down. We couldn't go lesbian speed. We had to pace this joint out,
Yes. No
which is
U-hauling. There was
no,
no U-hauling in this.
it's
Nope.
very different also because usually, women get together. It is so stereotypical and I'm not even ashamed of it, but it is
Mhm.
very like you're together, you living together by the second month.
Mhm.
We are well into a year of this and we haven't met family. Like I haven't taken her to meet my family yet. And not because I don't want to, just because I'm like, I kind of am okay with the speed and the pace that this is going. She's met some friends and one of my aunts here, but like I haven't taken her to meet my parents. They've met her on FaceTime, but not like in real life. And
Mm.
it's it's been really a different experience, but I like the pace that we're going at. I like feeling like we're really taking our time to get to know each other through all the seasons, and hitting different um, events in our life, hitting different, just when things come up, like how do you handle certain situations? And it's just been a time to really get to know each other in a way that sometimes we don't allow because we're
Yeah.
just so head over heels and you move so fast. And so it's nice to really get to know somebody for
Yeah.
real before it gets, you know, to bringing in all the families and stuff. So
Yes.
this made me
Totally.
think of like how sometimes in like movies you'll see a straight couple and the first time they're meeting their son's now fiance is like at an engagement party. Like they've never met until they're engaged. They've been dating this person 2 or 3 years and they're like, "Oh, now we've gotten to meet her." So I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I appreciate that too, and I think that like building that foundation is really important. I think
Mhm.
you said that before, but think about you're gonna see a different side of this person when
Yeah.
they're around their kids.
Yes.
And that's actually one of the anxiety points that my girlfriend has is like, are you gonna leave me because you're gonna see me in it like you're not gonna like my parenting style.
Mhm.
You're not gonna like the person I am when I'm with my kids.
Mhm.
And I think these are all fears and
Yeah.
anxieties that I think everybody will have. But if you've set that foundation and you get to know this person like at their core,
Mhm.
it, you should be able to weather a lot of that stuff and figure it out. I
Yeah.
would hope so. I
Yeah.
would hope so.
It's funny because when we first started talking, anytime she would start, kids are constantly interrupting you when you're on the phone. That's like their favorite time to talk to their parents. And I'm guilty of it as well with my parents. So in the beginning, like if the kids started talking to her or she'd like be telling them to do something, I'm like, just call me back, girl, when you're done with that. And then now I can stay on the phone through it and not be like,
Oh,
okay, I'm going to go. Cause she's like, oh, you're getting more used to me, yelling at the kids or talking to the kids or being interrupted by the kids. Whereas, 6, 7 months ago, you were like, just call me back.
All right, we'll have to have another conversation about this because I'm super
Okay.
interested about this one.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks
Oh my
everybody for
gosh.
joining us on this little journey. I think Desiree and I wow, there's a lot of new stuff coming at us. It's going to be
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
And but I kind of love that we brought this perspective to the universe of podcasts because I really
Mhm.
don't feel like a lot of people talk about this.
Mhm.
And we can also talk about this in another episode, but being the first girlfriend with a
Mhm.
late in life lesbian, I think is something that's unique as well. You know, being the
Mhm.
first girl that they've ever slept with. I kind of would love to kind of dive into that, especially with you and
Yeah.
on all that
Well,
kind of stuff too.
I'm not the first. She came out in middle school or high school, but you fall in love with who you fall in love with
Right.
and you make
Right.
different life decisions. But
But you've been the first for others.
yes. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
her longest.
Mm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's a whole other realm of anxiety and
Mhm.
fears and stuff that kind of like hovers around. But no, it's been great. And I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward
Well,
to what's next, even though it's scary.
cheers to all the co-parents, bonus moms, bonus dads out there.
Woo.
Keep
Yes.
doing the work. Keep fighting the good fight.
Fighting the good fight. All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
Love ya.
Thanks for listening to the Other What podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a thumbs up, and share with your friends. It really helps us grow. This episode was hosted by Sharon Go and Desiree Jamerson and produced by Andrew Marconi. We'd love to hear from you. Connect with us on Instagram at The Other What and tell us your show ideas, comments, and suggestions. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, all of the podcasting platforms, and our website, theotherwhat.com, where you can listen to all our episodes, check out show notes, and shop for merch that supports the show. The Other What is proudly brought to you by 559 Labs. We'll see you next time.